dokie everyone, I hope y'all had a wonderful week, and for this episode I planned on finishing out the Blight Harbor series. It is the Nighthouse Keeper and the Loneliest Place. Both of them are by Lora, Senf, the author of the Clackety. And I reviewed that one a few weeks back, and honestly I had this nice little plan of spacing them out, read a more, I hate to say more serious, but read a more serious novel and then read this since it's a little bit lighter. But honestly, my grandparents came, we had a great time, and then I was hit with a migraine for like 2 or 3 days. And I didn't want to skip out on a video this week since I don't think I'm going to be doing a video for Thanksgiving. So I was like, oh crap, I need to read something, but my poor head was not in it to be able to read anything too down or too heavy. So I looked at what we had, and I had the remainder of the series on the shelf, and I'm like, I'll just, I'll read the Nighthouse Keeper and then I'll do a review of it. It'll be real quick, real easy. Well, I read the Nighthouse Keeper and was just like so sucked into the story that I went ahead and read The Loneliest Place and figured y'all would just get a nice long video. I'm going to try to do my normal here's the plot summary, here's my thoughts, and do one for each, and then like an overall of the series itself. And I liked it. I'll start out real quick like that. I have already actually recommended the series to my mom, who is going out and doing her Christmas shopping for the various little cousins. And so my attitude is, if you have I think this is like middle school book, so 11 to 14 range, if you're looking for someone like that who likes a little bit of adventure, a lot of adventure honestly, and a little bit scary, then this is totally a good book. Nothing terrible happens. It does have some dark stuff in it, although honestly at 11 I had, I'd seen some dark stuff, so this one wouldn't have bothered me. And I just first of all, let me say, I adored everything about this series. Like, 5 out of 5, perfect, totally would recommend. I plan on giving it a reread every couple of years at this point, because I like it. This series will get a very good wearing from me. So with that out of the way, I think I will start with the second book in the Blight Harbor series, which is the Nighthouse Keeper. This series is actually fairly new. I think it was 2023. 2024. I know it was brand new when I got it off of Amazon last Christmas. Yeah, this is a 2023, so nice, new. The author is really great. This is her first series. Clackety was her first book. She won I believe she won the Bram Stoker Award. And I think it was completely deserved. Very awesome series. So the Nighthouse Keeper picks up pretty well, like maybe a week after where the Clackety left off. And it's basically the ghosts of Blight Harbor, who are just everyday citizens. Everyone in town loves them. It's just they're just there, Well, they start disappearing. And Aunt Des is brought in to kind of help investigate. And Des goes ahead and brings Evie into the situation because there's actually a somewhat secret society in Blight Harbor just based around keeping an eye on all the paranormal and making sure it stays in the good side of paranormal. Well, of course, Evie, she's 11, I believe, going on 12. She's kind of miffed that her aunt kept this a secret from her, but the aunt's like, listen, kid, yes, you just barely managed to scrape by. No, I'm not going to throw you into danger. I'm only bringing you into this meeting because you're like one of the only 2 people who have went to the dark side and came back. Not counting Aunt Des, because she was a doll when she came back. And for some reason, not counting the witches, so it's only like, this is only for the people who are just pretty well normal humans. I think the mayor is like part vampire, but that's not explored too much right here, right now. And Lily is present. Lily is the librarian who's a witch, and she is completely beige. And I still just love the witches. I mean, I don't know if I said it the last time, but there's like Lily, who's various shades of brown, Gray, who's various shades of gray, and then 2 others, which are various shades of, I think it's yellow and pink. But I think they're cool. But anyway, back to the point. Well, she's there at the meeting. She meets a guy named Irv, who's been there forever, but since he's been back and forth to the dark side so much, people can't keep him anchored in their mind. Like, they'll look at him, talk to him, can't really focus on his face, look away, completely forget he's there, and have to be kind of reminded. So he wears a bright orange hat so everyone can kind of focus on something. Well, they get there, and she describes what's going on, and they basically go, we're not sure where the ghosts are going. They may have just moved on to the better place, or there might actually be a problem. And Evie is worried because her best friend's house ghost, Florence, has up and disappeared, and Florence is just like attached to Maggie, loves her to pieces. She was the old school teacher in town who just stuck around and just adores kids. And she's like, okay, listen, Florence would not just move on without saying bye to Maggie, and Maggie is currently on vacation, so this is weird. And so Evie makes a promise that, she won't go into any doors, because what happens is there are doors that will randomly pop up through town, and if you go through them, you will get to the dark side. Which is what happened to Aunt Des. Is a door popped up in front of her, she walked through it, and that's how she got stuck. Well, Evie somewhat makes a promise that she won't go through the door and tries to maintain it, and discovers through various means that the ghost was trying to go help a child, or a little ghost child. And so she went to, the ghost went to the old schoolhouse where she used to work. Evie goes there to investigate. She finds 2 pennies and goes, that's weird. And promptly gets lured in through a door. And so now Evie is completely stuck on the wrong side with this woman named Portia, who is used to be human, but ingested or kept stealing the essence of this void, which is the power source, or the source of all the magical energy. And she, it doesn't turn you evil, it just makes you who you are. And in this case, she was not a good person. Well, I don't want to go through and spoil all the means, but basically it sets up another series of, okay, if you want to escape, you're going to have to go to a place called the Nighthouse, which Portia was the Nighthouse keeper, which is basically a lighthouse, but it's a night house. And its job is to draw souls, or draw lost people to it so they can be helped, versus them wandering over the edge into the void, which is just a void where they will be lost forever. So Evie goes, well, crap, I'm stuck. And goes, yeah, sure, you got a deal, because what's she gonna say? No and get eaten? And so the Night Housekeeper is the story of how Evie has to escape, and she has a friend in this story called Lark. You find out later that she's the niece of Portia, and she tried to convince Portia to quit being bad and to come home and whatnot. And Portia just pushes her off the night house and kills her because she's like, heck no, I ain't going home. And so this book, I'm not going to go any further than that, because it is still a very good read. Honestly, I thought it was a little bit scarier than the Clackety. And it has a few really, really great, I found them kind of creepy even as an adult. And needless to say, by the end of it all, Evie and Lark managed to escape. I guess spoilers, but hey, there's a 3rd one in the series, so they managed to escape. But most importantly, they escape after Evie discovers her mom's glasses, which in the first book, her parents were assumed dead by the rest of everyone, but Aunt Des and Evie thought they weren't dead, they just disappeared. And now she finds her mom's glasses and this old book that the mom had made for Evie when she was a kid in this night house, and when she puts on the glasses, she realizes that she's seeing another night house where her parents are, and she realizes, oh my gosh, they aren't dead. And at the back of the book is this inscription that is basically, if you found this book, you can find us. And the second book ends, and the third one picks up. And the title of the story that the mom made up for Evie was The Loneliest Place, which is, the title of this one. And so in The Loneliest Place, not a lot of time at all has passed. I think it's like 1 or 2 days, or maybe a week. And during the second book, after Portia's dealt with, Evie gets a item that allows her to return to the dark side wherever she wants. She just has to ask specifically. And she realizes that of everyone around, she is the one most qualified to go find her parents. But the doors aren't working. And so she's trying to figure it out. And in the course of all this, and at the end of the second book, you realize the Clackety is back. And she looks around and realizes everyone she loves is in danger. She is now part of some game. And she's the only one that can bring her parents back. And over the course of various things, the Clackety possesses her and goes, okay, listen, here's the deal. You cheated me out of the first game. I demand another game. You follow my rules. And it's basically, she has to live through the story. And if she can get her parents and get them out and doesn't die, she gets to leave. But she shakes hands and goes for it. And eventually, through a series of things, she realizes the Clackety is pissed that she cheated the last game. Because you have to remember, the Clackety is absolutely crazy. And this is all just a massive game for him. And so the entirety of the third book, The Loneliest Place, is her having to travel and live through the book. And after a point, she has no help. The deal she signed or shook hands on means that she's stuck. It's just her, it's the bird tattoo, and whatever's in her backpack, because at a certain point, the Clackety changes the rules and says, you can't go home. If you use one of the doors to go home, even if it's just to restock on supplies, your parents will die, or I will kill you and tell them you're dead and just watch them suffer and enjoy it. And so she travels through and does all of this, and it is a very cool story, so I'm not going to go too far into it. And it's kind of trippy at times, and just, once again, Senf does an amazing job at just writing unique characters. Like, Evie, you forget sometimes that she's like 11 or 12. But it also shows through, because she's not perfect. She cries, she gets mad, she gets frustrated, she's scared. And it's only because she literally has no choice that she goes. And Bird is a really good helper, but overall the repeating theme is, listen, I can't do it for you. This is your deal, your story. You have got to do it on your own. But also, she is not alone, because she is still on the dark side, and she still has allies on that side. And while they cannot do it for her, they are able to come through and assist. So it's like, you're not expecting a 12-year-old to accomplish Herculean task. Yeah, that's a very good way of saying it. It's like the 12 trials of Hercules, and she's got, thankfully, Gray comes through and helps her. And the storybook, the story thief from the first book comes through a little bit and helps her. And you meet all these really cool, really unique characters that just somewhat help her through, but it's like no one does it for her. She has to do it on her own by dint of what the deal is. And so she's just awesome throughout the entire book. I mean, I'd recommend this for, anyone, any kid that likes adventure. I love every bit about Evie. She's completely her own person. And also, I like that Senf just kept to the story. There's nothing too weird there, and it was able to completely stand on its own 2 feet. I think that is the broad gist of it, is just that I really enjoyed it. So, what I liked the most about the Clackety and the entire Blight Harbor series is not only is it an extremely unique story with very compelling characters, very likable characters, and very scary bad guys, is I liked that these are sequels that were able to stand on their own. Like, in the first book, you didn't get a sense of where she was. Honestly, at the end of the first book, I found it a little open-ended because I was like, okay, cool. We've been to this one area, but what is the Dark Sun side? What is going on? You get the impression at first that it's just this little pocket dimension, and then the second book expands on that and you realize, oh no, this is bigger than just a street with 7 houses and a field. And then the third book, it pulls out even more and you realize, oh wow, this is an entire, I don't know what it is, but a parallel world. No, there's no repeating in this series. It's like the first book, you're set in the street with 7 houses. In the second book, you're exposed to the concept of the Nighthouse and what the void is. It's called the Radix, and apparently it's sentient. You have the Radix, you have deserts, you have ghouls, you have carnivorous metallic forests. Let me see. You have a whole lot of everything where you realize while the Clackety is bad, he is not the big bad. This whole world is extremely dangerous, and it's only because she has friends and Bird and all this other stuff going on that she's even able to scrape by. I mean, she gets injured, she gets knocked down, she sees so much stuff, and you realize, a kid reading through it will be, oh my gosh, this is cool and kind of scared, but as an adult, you're like, wow, this is very layered, and you can see the undertones, and when you step back and you look at the implications of the fact that here's the girl's ghosts and she is talking to her skeleton. And there's a sentient skeleton, and apparently skeletons can die, and oh my gosh, apparently ghosts can die. And it's this really cool layer. And then the third story you get here and you're like, wow, there's actually entire communities living here, and is this the only world? Is there another world? The Dark Sun obviously kind of has this black-purple sun. Well, is there another dimension? Is there another area where the sun is some other color? What's going on? And I like the fact that at the end in the acknowledgements, Senf said she fell in love with writing Evie and writing Blight Harbor, that this will probably not be the last we see of her. And I'm really excited about that, and I want to see more of this, and I honestly can't say I felt that way about other books. And that's my big takeaway from a lot of this is write a book and don't write everything all at once. Let your character explore and grow throughout all of it. And let your readers do that too, because it's so hard. If she would have crammed it all in, like all these random ideas into one book, I don't think it would have held up. And since it's spread over 3 books and supported by 3 different narratives, I think it does a beautiful job. And I love the fact that at the end of it all, there's still questions. I mean, yes, everyone has a happy ending, and I love the fact that, a little spoilers, she doesn't end up abandoning the Dark Sun side. She doesn't end up leaving her friends. The parents don't snatch her up and go, okay, cool, we're out of this all. Now let's just run away and live in Florida or something where it's just as weird but not as cool. And I'm like, I like it. It has a very happy ending. Everything is tolerably wrapped up, except for you realize there's still a dangerous world over there in a cool world, and there's levels and layers and countries, and it keeps going. And I'm like, I like this. I want to write like this lady. She is so well versed, and she writes really well and really clear, and I really enjoy all of her characters. I can't name a single character that I thought was pointless. Each one had a purpose and a point and a history, and I just think this is a perfect example of a series done right. And so, honestly, this Christmas, if you're looking for that little bookworm in your life, give the Blight Harbor series a try. I think you can still get the full book series on Amazon. And this is obviously not sponsored or anything. It's just, I believe, hey, there's a surprising lack of good books out there. And so when you find one, share it with people. And so on that note, I will wrap this part up and give you a little insight of what's coming up in the next couple weeks, next few episodes. And I'm really excited for December because this fell out just perfectly. So if you're stopping here, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you have any other books similar, because I'd love to read them. I'm very much I will read anything of all age groups, because I don't think age should define what you read. Anyway, so next week I figured I would do just a nice, easy little, description of what exactly I have written and what's in the future of my series. After that, I think I'm going to take Thanksgiving off, collect my thoughts, read a little. I'm not going to quit reading, but just collect everything, because I'm sure I'm going to be in the squirrel woods or something for Thanksgiving. And then starting in December, I'm really thinking of doing like a Dracula December or something, because I went to the library yesterday, and while waiting on one of the librarians, I was flicking through their new titles section and came home with 2 more vampire novels, and I still haven't read and reviewed the Grady Hendrix one yet. And so that will put me up to 3. I have just ordered the original Dracula. And so it's like I've got the original Dracula, a Dracula retelling, the Southern Book Club's Guide to Hunting Vampires, and one other that I cannot remember the title right now. And I'm going in completely blind on all of them except for Dracula, which I've read once, but it's been ages and ages ago, and I figured that would be a great baseline. And then after that, January will just probably be a continuation of fantasy and probably some monsters thrown in, because I just really like the paranormal, and I'm thinking I am either missing a week somewhere or forgetting a book. So forgive me on that one, but I will try to keep all of y'all posted. And yeah, that's this week. Hopefully I haven't rambled too much. Hopefully I've told you enough about the series, about, so you can go into it with a good sense of what's going on. And once again, I just think it's really good. So I will see y'all next week, and I hope y'all have a wonderful time. Enjoy the weather.